Right, YouTube, it's Big Mike. Without further ado, retro. Just a quick one here. There's a game coming out on the 8th of this month. It's called Hellblade. It's by one of my favourite companies called Ninja Theory. They're absolutely superb. I don't know if you know the company. They basically released game called Heavenly Sword on the PS3. It was a release game when the PS3 came out. This was Ninja Theory's first game, which was on the PS3. It's a game called Heavenly Sword. I don't know, unfortunately, how to put in clips and things on YouTube, but this was a release game when the PS3 came out as a release title. This game is absolutely incredible and still holds up today. The game is 10 years old, but as I said, Ninja Theory are one of my favourite companies. I watched the making of this, so you can unlock like the making and things of this game. The game is absolutely superb, very very ambitious the way that they put this game together. They basically when on the making of the game, they basically said that one of the guys, and this really sort of caught me and sort of, took me back a bit, and it's one of the reasons I love the company. They said when they made this game, they basically tried to make the most beautiful game that you'd ever seen. Now, if you ask me, that's the sort of people that we need making our games. We're not just going to give you a game and that'll do. We're going to try and make it the best game that you've ever seen. That is the sort of thing we need to push forward, and this is why we need to get behind Ninja Theory, because they're to be honest, I one of my favourite companies is Naughty Dog. They're a great studio that do. The only game they've done as bad, as far as I'm aware, is Katsumi Ninja on the Atari Jaguar, which they probably would like to forget that game. But I believe that was their first ever game. But since then, they went on to do the Crash Bandicoots, the Uncharted series, which is possibly some of my favourite games of all time. Uncharted 2 may even be my number one game of all time. And then they went on to do The Last of Us, with The Last of Us 2 coming up. So they're a fantastic studio. But as far as I'm aware, I think they're a much larger studio than Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory, from what I'm aware, is quite a small team. And like I say, this was the first game they've done, Heavenly Sword. Honestly, go and have a look. Heavenly Sword on the PS3. Have a look at some YouTube clips. Bearing in mind, that game is 10 years old plus. So, they're fantastic. But they really need people to get behind them on their games. Otherwise, they might not be around. And I personally want people doing really good games, new games, not like Call of Duty 5, Call of Duty 6, GTA 5, GTA 6, FIFA 17, FIFA 18. We need new games, new IPs, games that, push the boundaries, dare to be different, possibly take that might not work, might fail, but, is doing something different. Right, this is a second game that Ninja Theory have done, a game called Enslaved. Once again, an absolute fantastic game. It's a bit of an insult, but also a compliment to call it this. It's a little bit like a poor man's Uncharted. Very good story, very good story, very good acting, very good gameplay, really good game, well underlooked, very underlooked game. But the graphics aren't as good as Uncharted. But like I say, I think that the studio doesn't have the money that Uncharted had. I would say they took a step back from the first game to make this game. But obviously, I think this game was a lower budget. So for what they had to make this game, it was still a great game. It was definitely worth a 9 out of 10. This game, the same with their first game. The third game that they've released, basically the third game that they did I don't have. I was looking to pick it up cheap, but they done the remake for the Devil May Cry on the PS3. The reboot of Devil May Cry was by Ninja Theory. Also, they've done a remastered version on the PS4, which is the one that I will try and pick up. I'll try and pick it up when it's sort of cheaper and I've got a bit more extra funds. But the latest game that they are doing is a game called Hellblade. Now, the game, I can't remember where I read it, but I think I may have had an email or read it in somewhere. But it said, Hellblade wasn't getting a physical release, but it was available for on a download only release to keep the prices down, and and to make sure that we get the game. So it's on the PS4. I don't know. I don't think it's on other systems. I think it's PS4 exclusive. It looks absolutely fantastic. Like I say, go and check it out. It's called Hellblade. It's on the PlayStation Store, PlayStation Network Store for pre-order. It's only £25. Like I say, it looks outstanding. From what I gather, it's to do with a girl, and she is dealing with madness, as in she hears voices in her head, and there's a story and things have happened, and I don't know too much about it. I've tried not to watch too much about it, but that's the sort of gist of what I've got. Go onto YouTube. There is some videos, or go on a PlayStation Store, have a look on there. They've got the videos there. There's 2 videos to watch, and both of them look breathtaking. Like I say, the Ninja Theory, fantastic studio in the same sort of league, not size-wise, but for quality-wise, same sort of league as, Naughty Dog. Pushing the boundaries, making great games, really putting 100% into their games. And we need to get behind these people. We need to get behind these studios, because otherwise all we're going to have is the same games churned in, churned out, year in, year out. GTA, Call of Duty, FIFA. I want new games. I want new games. So, games that dare to be different. Okay, YouTube, I'll speak to you soon. Thanks very much. Goodbye.